Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that? Happy June the 15th, and hello to all the mothers and daughters. This is Miss Dawn, and I've got something interesting today, and I'm going to really just title this one, Did You Know? I have this conversation with a lot of people, and I've had it for a long time with many clients and people who just kind of don't know how some things work behind the scenes, but I just thought it would just be great to just tell you. I noticed that a lot of people have a lot of different projects that they're wanting to do, a lot of buildings and all of these things. Well, listen, I'm going to be a resource for you today, because today I'm actually going to be talking about surplus land. You may have never heard that term before. You may not know what it really is, but there is a thing called surplus land. Now, there's a difference in excess and surplus. Excess is there's just too much, we don't know what no. Surplus means there's a lot of empty property, a lot of blank land, a lot that can be done with. For example, I remember about maybe 15-20 years ago, I got on a list, and I'm still on it. I got on a list, and they send it out to people who are interested in, and I'm going to tell you how to get it. I'm going to tell you how to look into it and where to go. So listen. I got put on a list, and the list would come out maybe like every month or every other month. Right now, they only send it every 6 months. I get it twice a year. And on the list, it'll tell you all of the property I live in Texas, so it'll tell me all of the properties that are in Texas. And on the list for Texas, it may have Dallas, it may have San Antonio, may have Austin, may have Houston, may have all types of towns that I maybe have never even paid attention to. On the list, it'll tell you this particular agency is willing to give these 5 acres away if you are willing to put I'm going to just make this up, a rehab center here. So let's just say you have an organization and what you do is rehabilitation, but you don't have a permanent house and you're in that area or want to be in that area. You could actually put your facility in that area. Apply for that surplus land. Get that surplus land and put your program on there. Now, this does not just limit you to land. It also can stretch to property where there's a building on it already, a dwelling, but it can also be homes. As I was looking on the website a couple of days ago, doing some knowledge research for you guys, ladies, moms, and daughters, as I was on the website, I was looking at, they had homes as low as $10,000. And I'm talking about homes that you probably have to do a little bit of work to, but you know what, any home you move into, you're going to do some work to. If I was to go and buy a brand new, let's just say $450,000 home today, I would still have to do something to it. Let me tell you why, because what you go see in the model homes is not what you see when you get it. That's not what you get. So when you get that home built, there's so many questions you really, really need to ask, like, is this what I'm getting? And usually they would tell you no. No, the crown molding doesn't come with it. No, the extra bathroom doesn't come like that. No, the little washroom is not going to be with the little seat in it. No, those bookshelves are not going to be built into the office part. No, that particular tile won't be on the floor. No, the ceiling might not be 22 feet tall. It may only be 14 or 12, or, something like that. There's so many questions you have to ask. No, that might not be what your back door is going to look like. Nah, that might not be what the front door is going to look like. No, the landscaping is not going to end up like that, and that's not the type of grass you're going to get. No, the garage door won't be made out of that. Instead, it'll be made out of this. Basically, when they show you anything that's a model, it's of what a potential could be. That potential is all about your pocket. So let's just say you bought a piece of property for $10,000. You probably have to put $10,000 into it to make it the dream that you want, so that you can live in it. You can rent it out. You can Airbnb it. You can, serve the community of homeless or seniors or group home for children, whatever you want to do. But listen, surplus land is typically given away for those who have great projects in mind that are going to support the community and help the community. Okay, this land is going to have some type of value for you to use it, but it has no value to the entity that's holding it. So let's just say, for example, your state government mayor's office or whoever handles the land entities has this property. It has no value to them, but it could have significant value for you. So that's something that you may want to look into. Just go to your Googler and just type in surplus land in, and then you put whatever state you're in, or you put whatever city that you're in, and it'll tell you where that surplus land is. And surplus land is typically going to be used for any type of, like I said, projects that can be utilized to help people. For example, the homeless, youth that are like maybe foster kids, or could be used for an education site. It can be used for anything that's going to help the public. It's not going to be for you to just buy it. Now, if you buy a home for $10,000, yeah, you can buy the house and you can live in it and you can fix it up and make it a mansion if you want to. That's fine. But that's going to go on the auction block. So like there's the free and then there's the auction. Typically, if you're a 501c3 nonprofit tax exempt IRS approved organization, you can get that property at no cost. If you are just an individual who wants to buy a piece of property to improve it for your own personal gain, then you are going to go to the auction block. And on the auction block, like I said, some of those properties start at about $10,000. I know I've helped, people in San Antonio, people in Houston, people in Alabama, people in Mississippi, people in Arkansas, all over, to discover different surplus lands and then go after those HUD fundings. And, some of them went through me. Some of them I just gave them. They paid me to give them the steps on how to do it. And I gave them the steps on how to do it so that they can be able to do their own thing without, I guess, having to pay somebody to give it to them. So I'm going to also talk about HUD because that's where the funding is. So there's government surplus land liquidation, which you can go and look at some of the land auctions where you can pay for it. But then also you can call your mayor's office, find out about the surplus land. Like when I go to my website for Houston surplus land, you have to go through the mayor's office. You have to get on the list. You have to register first. You cannot even see what's available if you are not registered. So you have to register first, and then you can get access to what they call a database. So you have a database for free properties, for programs and services through nonprofits. Then you have access to the database for foreclosures. You have short sales and more that can be there. So you can search that home through there. Now, if you have a really patient, really good realtor, they can also help you with this. Now, the reason I say good and the reason I say patient is because a lot of realtors don't want to deal with this simply because there's not a whole lot of money in it for them. They're looking at, if you're going through something looking for the best price, they're probably not going to come out on the end making gangbusters. So know your realtor. That's what I'll say. Know your realtor. Is your realtor one that is happy to sell property and land, and it doesn't matter what the value is, they want volume? Or is your real estate person a person that says, no, I only want to sell high value real estate, meaning if I'm not going to bring in $5,000 or more off of this sale, I'm not interested. So know who your realtor is. Now, I've told you about the surplus land. Go into Google and type in surplus land in whatever that city is, and then start looking, register, call and ask a ton of questions. Some of the answers that I've given you now, you may want to call and verify and check those questions in case anything has changed. I'm on the sites right now. Nothing has changed, but hey, tomorrow's another day. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to go and check out HUD. Now, when you go to HUD, you're going to see they have 7 to 10 different programs for funding. They have homeowners assistance programs. They have new home buyer assistance programs. They have grants for, remember the word I'm going to tell you, because if you're interested in the surplus land and then putting some kind of project on it, again, personal use, go through their auction block where you can get things cheap. But if you're interested in doing a particular project, and let's just say you have the best idea ever, but $50, that's not going to get much. So with your little $50 and your best idea ever, the best you can do is make some phone calls. So when you go through HUD, the word you're going to inquire when you make your phone call, because I never suggest that you just get on there and start looking on Google and think you're going to find something there and everything's going to be good. You got to do some research. There's like 40 steps you need to take before you could even consider what step you're going to personally take. So when you get on the HUD website, you're going to look up CDBG, and it stands for Community Development Building Organization. So CDBG is going to be what you want to look up, okay? And so they also have a thing with CDBO, and I think that stands for Community Development Block Organization, and that's for an organization that meets certain qualifications that they engage with the state and local communities to develop activities. And for example, let's say you had a foster care home and you had all these different activities and all things that been developed, then you could work with the CDBO. But CDBG is what you want to look for, because CDBG, I want to make sure I verify that name. So it's CDBG. And so once I look up CDBG, it's Community Development Block Grant. Okay, so that's what you want to look for, Community Development Block Grant. That grant only comes through the Housing and Urban Development. So just all caps with HUD. So the HUD department has funding for CDBG. There's a lot of webinars about it. There's a lot of classes that they do personally through HUD. You could do some one-off stuff where you could get some other individuals to teach you. But if I was a first timer, I would go straight to the exact organization that's going to give me the money. I wouldn't go through a second or third or fourth party. I would let them introduce it to you like I'm doing right now, but I wouldn't let them try to teach me about anything before I went through HUD, because that's exactly what I did. I went through HUD and went to the classes. This is back before COVID. Way. We're talking 15 years ago. I went and literally sat in those classes over by our Reliance Center, and I sat there for 8 hours sometimes in classes, but I got the best knowledge I could ever do. Now, CDBG, it can be used to purchase land. It can be used to purchase land with a dwelling already on it. It could be used for all types of programs so that you can be able to get the funding. So you got to make sure that you already have everything laid out. Now listen, when you're talking about you want to buy surplus land and it's for personal use, just have your money together and be ready to do an auction. I've never been good at auction and bidding and competing. I'm not that girl. But when you want to do a program or a service or a project through your nonprofit organization, if you have one, if you don't get one, if you need one, let me know. But if you want to do a program or service through your nonprofit organization, please don't try to apply for funds and you don't have every single step from beginning vision to walkout success. Do not have yourself ready to make a phone call to ask how to apply for any funding if you don't have everything from beginning to end already on paper. You may even want to take it and get it refined. You want to have budgets and charts. You want to have how many people you're going to serve. You want to have the who, what, when, where, how, why. You want to have your board members listed. You want to have your organizational chart together. You want to have why you serve, who you serve, how many you can serve, and the program laid out to the T. From the minute I walk into your program, when I walk out, why? What's going to make it better? What are we doing? You can call and you can inquire about CDBG money. You can ask what it's for. You can say, I'm planning on doing XYZ. Would this be a good fit? After that, go to work. If you're planning on looking into it right now, you're already too late. You can call and ask the questions, but you can apply maybe next year, because it would take at least 3 to 6 months for you to try to put a program together, especially if you're going to ask for $500,000 or something like that. But Anyway, it's Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, all caps. Now, this also is a part of the Title I monies for housing and community development, and it was an act that was put together in 1974, has been amended, and it's only gotten better from what I actually can see. Again, I can only tell you CDBG money on a perspective from the states that I've helped individuals, and again, that's Louisiana, that's Texas, that's Arkansas, that's Alabama, that's California, that is Wisconsin, and that is Maryland. Those are the only clients that I've had to educate on this and then walk them through step by step how to get it. Now, I will give you one tip. If you are wanting to do a project in a more rural area where there is not one on every block, you will have a much better success. Let me break down what I mean by that. What I mean by that is, if you're willing to go to a rural area where there's probably no Walmart, then you could build something great. The Walmart will come, because the way it works is, if you got the Walgreens and the CVS, and you got a pretty decent grocery store, and you got pretty good thrift stores and shopping centers, and you got a Ross, and I'm just letting you know, bigger names, then the Walmart or the Target is coming. That when they come in, that shows you volume. That means we have people. There's a new home development coming. I'll give you a great example. Down past Highway 99, there's a lot of new neighborhoods, and they've been building on them now for the last 10 years. They just now put a sign up saying there's a Target coming and a H-E-B coming. It's been 10 years that they've been building over there. There's probably over 7 to 10 different new builders that are continuing to build. It's 10 years later, and they just put the sign up a month ago, maybe 3 months ago, that says Target and H-E-B coming. So basically, Target won the bid for that. If it gets bigger, then maybe a few miles away, they may end up building a Walmart, but I don't know, because there's only so much property over there. The other thing that's good about the area that they're building in, there's a big, huge FedEx corporation over there. My son used to work there. It's huge warehouse that's right there, FedEx. And then you have, you don't have any other grocery stores or anything. The biggest thing on that block over there is FedEx. Now, if you go maybe 2 miles away, you've got a couple of other things, but that's the biggest thing right there is the big FedEx. But so that means that's more jobs that people can get there. The Highway 99 is built out so they can get back and forth in and out of the city to come way out to Hockley, Katy, and all that. So it's just a good thing. But I just wanted to take some time to share with you possibilities. And if you've been thinking about doing a project, especially if that project is for women, and you were like, okay, I really need 5 acres, or I really need a piece of property that has a building that we can build out, or I really need to find out where the money is. Okay, if you're wanting to build something, buy a piece of land or property, HUD is where you want to go. Whether you're a 501c3 nonprofit or you're not, they have funding for all types of projects. So check into the Community Development Block Grants. And that's just something that you could do on your own. I'm not saying that you want to, but you could hire somebody to help you. You could hire somebody to help you put it together. You could hire somebody to ask more questions. You could, because when you get these people on the phone, this is what I need you to know, and then I'm going to end. When you get them on the phone through any of these government agencies, they really don't want to talk to you for more than 5 to 10 minutes. They really want you to ask 1 or 2 questions. I literally was on the phone asking a question to a government agency. I'm not going to say which one. And I asked the question. I said, I got 4 more questions. She said, no, you can only ask 2 questions on this call, and then you have to hang up and call back. Now, listen, I had already held on for 45 minutes to an hour. So she said, no, you can't ask it. You have to. So I was like, so you're telling me I have 4 questions, and I can only ask you 2, and I got to call back and hold on another 45 minutes, and I probably will get you again. She said, you can only ask me 2 questions, and that was it. Now, that has not the first time that's happened with a government agency, and it's not the only government agency. That's the second time it happened to me with 2 different agencies. So write all your questions out, get them on the phone, and get as many in as they will allow you to get in, because they're not going to allow too many. That's our show for today on surplus land, and I just wanted to share that because I have a lot of conversations with different individuals, and they'll say, that'll be a good topic on the show. And I'm like, you know what? You're right, because there's just a lot that people don't know. I remember in the past when I used to do a podcast, and it was called, Well, I did a TV show, and it was called The Fobbs Business Review on Cube TV, and then I did a podcast called Stuck on Miss Dawn, and I would have millionaires and billionaires to tell me what's stuck on them that makes them who they are, which relates to them being the type of business individual that they are to earn the type of money that they earn. And it was just so interesting that we could bounce different things off of one another, because even though they were billionaires and millionaires and knew a lot, there were things that I could share with them that they would be like, hold on, let me get my pen or pencil. I didn't know that. So I just feel like we can all share ideas with one another. But on this podcast, we're going to make you laugh. We're going to make you cry. We're going to make you smile. We're going to make you shy. We're going to educate you. We're going to give you knowledge. We're going to bring in interviews from people who have extra knowledge. So that's what this podcast, Mother Daughter Ish, is all about. And so, you know, we have you out there as our podcast nation for Mother Daughter Ish. And so we're going to call you Mother Daughter Nation. And we're just going to have fun with it, but we're going to bring in some educational stuff. It's not just going to be blah, 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 blah. Nope. It's going to be, let me get my pen and paper and write this down. So that's our show for today. If you'd like to support us, our Cash App is $MDI Podcast. If you have something that you would like to send in to the show for us to review, our P.O. Box is P.O. Box 842398. That's Houston, Texas 77284. If you are interested in being on our Instagram page, where we post many times every day, 7 days a week, it is Mother Daughter Ish _. And that's our show for today on Surplus Land. Bye. Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother Daughter Ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?